Trend. Good morning, children. So, yesterday we have started with a new lesson, that is lesson 1 in history. It is all about the evolution of human beings. So, today we will be continuing about that. We were learning the sources, archaeologists, paleontologists, all those people we were learning. So, today we will be learning about that. Okay, and continuation of that. Not only that, even the sources of history you would have learnt in your 8th standard regarding the sources of history, like archaeological sources, literary sources, all that. So all the evidences also we will learn. Along with that, how the human beings got development in their, okay, in their life, that also we will see. So we have seen about the oldest museum. Okay, so do you remember that name of the person, name of the king or queen, whoever it is? Fine, children. So the Museum of Enigaldi Nanna. Enigaldi Nanna in Mesopotamia was established in 530 BC. Okay, Princess Enigaldi was the daughter of Neo-Babylonian king. This princess was a daughter of Neo-Babylonian king called Nabonidus. Nabonidus. So inside the museum, the pictures are like this. You can see inside the museum how the things are kept. And this is another one. Capitoline Museum in Italy is perhaps the oldest surveying museum. What is the meaning of surveying? Still it is there. Okay, 1471 AD. At present, Ashmolean Museum at Oxford University is the oldest university museum in the world. Ashmolean Museum at Oxford University is the oldest university museum in the world. 1677 AD. Fine. So we have learnt about 3 museums. Nanni Galdi, this is Capitoline, and this is Ashmolean. Fine. Here I have told you about the natural selection in the previous class. The process, that is where we are going to live, it was not decided by the human beings earlier. It is all natural selection. Where the tree is going to grow, where that animal is going to, okay, live, all those are natural selection. The process by which organisms that are better adapted to their environment would survey and produce more offspring. So whichever environment is suitable for that living organism, there only that living organism live. That is called natural selection and adaptation. So according to the Darwin theory of natural selection, here you can see the theory of the evolution of species by Darwin, Charles Darwin. Okay, natural selection advanced by Charles Darwin, announced on July 1, 1858. So he told about that evolution of species in the year 1858. He had a research about that. Who? Charles Darwin. He traveled around the world in the 19th century on the ship. Okay, on the ship HMS Beagle with a surveying expedition for 5 years. How many years? 5 years. Here, this is another one. In the natural selection itself, we have the another concept called survival of fittest. You would have heard this word or phrase in English. Okay, a lot of times you would have heard this phrase in English. So let us see what it is. The individuals with the best traits or adaptation will survive and have the opportunity to pass on its trait to offspring. So you know very well that whichever has the better adaptation facilities, it will live for long. Even we can live only if the adaptation, if the place is suitable, environment is suitable. Otherwise, we cannot live. So this is called what? Survival of fittest. And here, natural selection acts on the phenotype, physical appearance, not on the genotype. Okay, that is genetic makeup. Here, examples are given. Giraffe has long neck. It can adapt it to the environment where trees are there, or wherever the trees are there, this giraffe can eat those leaves. So the long neck and the surrounding environment is the adaptation. That is the survival of the fittest. If the giraffe can live where no trees are there, it cannot eat the leaves whatever is needed, and it cannot live. Okay, so long neck is given by the nature. It is all because to pluck the leaves from the trees and to eat it. So let us see about the fossils. So I have already told about what do you mean by fossils. So these fossils, we can bury the ground and take it, or it may be embedded with the layers of the rock or anywhere else. Okay, you can see some pictures how it is embedded in the rock layers or inside the soil. Let us see how are fossils made. Fossils are made from the hard parts of plants and animals. Which is the hard part of plants and animals? The bone only, such as the bark, seed cases, bones, and even the teeth. Okay, even the teeth is also the hard part. These parts do not easily rot away or plants and die. Okay, after plants and animals die. So we know very well that even our teeth, our bones, it won't get decayed. Okay, it won't get decayed, only the flesh will get decayed. So that is why we can take these bones and teeth as fossils, as evidences. Here these fossils take millions of years to form. How do we get that as a fossil, the remains of dead plants and animals as fossil? Because it takes millions of years. So you have learnt in your previous classes like the decayed material. Plants decay for millions of years, thousands of years. After that only we get that in the form of coal. We get that in the form of coal. The same way it takes millions of years to become as a fossil. Here how these fossils are turning to stone. How it is turning to stone. Kallu mari eppahu. See, a starfish dies. The parts of the body rot away quickly. Harder parts slowly get covered by mud. Okay, harder parts slowly get covered by mud. After millions of years, the starfish is deep in the ground. Okay, the mud around it is crushed by the land on top and turned to stone. So are the remains of the starfish. Millions of years later, the stone gets worn away and the fossil can be seen. So that nothing, the bones are there, the teeth is there, the hardest parts are there. It gets covered by mud, and due to the pressure from the top layer, which is these fossils are in the lower layers. So due to the pressure, it gets embedded into the layers of the land or layers of the rock. So after millions of years or thousands of years, when it becomes hardened, it is getting like it gets worn away. The cover of that fossils gets worn away, so we can see the bones inside that. Okay, this is how the fossils are made. Now we have learnt about the Stone Age. Yes. So I have told you yesterday about paleontology. It is the study of fossils. Archaeology, it is a study of the materials which are found in the ground.
Ma'am, you're muted.
Yes, ma'am.
So children, I have told you about the Stone Age. Stone Age means the period when stone was mainly used for making implements. Stone was the main one. Next one, Bronze Age. So bronze was used to make their weapons or whatever instruments, vessels, whatever they are in need of, they made with the help of bronze. Then Iron Age. Okay. Then Iron Age. Iron was used to make tools and weapons because iron is tougher than bronze. They found out that the iron is tougher than the bronze and it was used to make sharper objects. They found that compared to the other stones and whatever it is, bronze, copper, anything, iron is the strongest metal. They found out that. So they used it to make the sharper objects like spears, swords, okay? And not only that, they decorated those instruments, whatever they made also. They started decorating also, okay? And they also made tools for farming like plows. All the instruments for agriculture also they started making with the help of iron. Okay, so all that we know. Till this we know. We have learned somewhere, we have heard it somewhere and everything. Now we are going to see about the real prehistory from Australopithecus through Homo erectus to Homo sapiens. Yes, Australopithecus. We have seen Australopithecines. Okay, they are the relatives of the human beings. Like that we have seen. So the real evolution we are going to see. The real prehistory we are going to see, and how those people migrated to different parts of the world and how they started living in different parts of the world. So you can see here the precursors of the modern human being. Okay, human appeared late in the Earth's history. Humans, after all the living organisms came into being, only human beings came to the Earth. That is why it is given. The earliest ancestor of humans, hominids, diverged from apes about 8 million years ago. Okay, the earliest ancestor of humans who were called as hominids, they diverged, they changed from apes about 8 million years ago. So first Europeans, this person, okay, first European, they were called as the first Europeans approximately 780,000 years ago. They lived 780,000 years ago. And there we can see chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, along with humans, are collectively called great apes. Which group is called great apes? Chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, along with humans, are collectively called the great apes. Among them, chimpanzees genetically the closest to humans. Okay, chimpanzee is genetically, according to the genes, we say no. So genetically the closest to humans. And the ancestors to humans are called hominids. Where we can find all that? We have find those traces in Africa. Okay, in Africa. They evolved from those origins and moved to other parts of the world in due course of time. So after these hominids migrated to different parts of the world, slowly moving to the other place in search of food. Then from there moving to the other place in search of food. So like that they migrated to different parts of the world. So hominids we have seen. Now hominids emerged around 7 to 5 million years ago. Hominids. Okay, ancestors to humans are called hominids. Now here we are learning about hominins. They emerged around 7 to 5 million years ago. Okay, skeletons of Australopithecus, one of the early species of this type, have been found in Africa. Again, children, please mute your mic. Okay, this is Australopithecines we have seen, no? So all those skeletons also we have found in Africa. So from that we can identify, or we can come to an understanding that most of the species of the human beings who lived earlier, okay, those all those species lived in Africa. Okay, they had their origin in Africa, we can say. From there, they moved to different parts of the world. So human ancestors were first one hominids, then hominims, Homo habilis, then Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens, biological word for the human beings. You know that. So hominids, hominims, Homo habilis, Homo sapiens. So you can see hominid. Okay, again I can show you with the picture, help of the picture. Structure of the face also you can just identify that. You are not paleo, okay. We all are not doing any research on the human beings, okay, and we are not going to do, just we have to understand that how the people lived earlier and how they have got their changes. So hominid family includes modern humans developed over millions of years. So these people, hominid, were the first people only, they learned to walk straight. Okay, they learned to walk upright and have opposable thumbs. The skull, neck, spinal column, hip bones, and leg bones of early hominid species changed shape to enable walking upright. Otherwise, you know how the animals will walk. They walk with the four, okay, four legs and whatever the front portion also. But here, this person, the hominid, only started walking with the two legs, okay, and hip bone straight, backbone straight, the skull also was a proper shape like that. Fine. Here hominins, the earliest hominins, the last common ancestor for human and chimpanzees. They lived about 7 to 6 million years ago. It was discovered in 2001 near Chad, Western Africa. All the remains of the fossils was discovered in Africa only. So these hominins had both ape-like structure and human-like characteristics. You can see there, you can see the eyes, mouth, everything. So all these look like half monkey, half human being. Next one, Homo habilis. Okay, Homo habilis, one of the earliest of the genus Homo, meaning humans. Homo meaning humans. They had a larger brain case and smaller teeth. Okay, larger brain case and smaller teeth. But still they are in the third stage Homo habilis, but they have the ape-like features only, including the long arms. You know that monkeys have the long arms. Kai நீளமா இருக்கும். Okay, and a protruding jaw. Protruding jaw means the mouth jaw. Yes, you know that how it is. Habilis means handyman because they were the first to make stone tools. They were the first, Homo habilis were the first to make the tools out of their own hand. So we have learned about Homo hominids, hominims, Homo habilis. So let us see about the Homo sapiens. So they were called as the modern humans. They dominated the continent 30,000 years ago. Cro-Magnons were the earliest sapiens. So among the Homo sapiens, there were different groups of people. Here, Cro-Magnons were the earliest sapiens. They were taller but less robust. Better technology like stone axes, raft, spears, bow, and arrow, they started making and they started using for their life. And they themselves made law to hunt. Okay, all the laws also were created by those people who Homo sapiens, that is Cro-Magnons. And they moved from, they were living in caves, and after they knew that how to make the weapons, and slowly they started discovering many facts. So they started living in the permanent houses. They moved from the caves to permanent houses, and they started doing the cave paintings also. Okay, cave paintings, we can see all those in France. You can see these kind of cave paintings were done by them. Fine. And not only there, these Homo sapiens migrated to Europe, Asia, Australia, and America from African continent. Okay, Africa was home to these Homo sapiens, hominids, we can say hominims. But from there, they migrated to different parts of the world, different continents of the world, like Europe, Asia, Australia, and America. From where? From Africa. So you can see this kind of elephant. Have you ever seen? All these elephants lived long, long ago. We can say that millions of years ago. So we are going to learn about history of architecture and culture. One, that is a prehistoric age we are going to see. So the major periods, how the periods were divided: Paleolithic age, Mesolithic age, Neolithic age, Bronze and Iron ages we have seen. Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, Bronze and Iron ages. After that only Bronze and Iron ages. So what is Paleolithic? See, Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic are the stone ages only. So the stone ages only were divided into three: Old Stone Age, Middle Stone Age, New Stone Age. Old Stone Age is called Paleolithic. Middle Stone Age, Mesolithic. New Stone Age, Neolithic. Lithic means stone, the rock. Yes, so Lower Paleolithic, 2.5 million years to 75 billion. It is given as BP. Okay, and Middle Paleolithic, 75,000 to 35,000. Upper Paleolithic, 35,000 to 12,000. Yes, so you can see here. And next one, Mesolithic. So you have seen Paleolithic. Paleolithic was divided into three: Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic, Upper Paleolithic. Next one, we are in Mesolithic, that is Middle Stone Age, which is 12,000 to 10,000. Next one, Neolithic, New Stone Age, began 10,000. Okay, and Bronze and Iron Age civilization began 5,000 years ago. Fine, children? Billion. We see there prehistoric cultures. So about the prehistoric cultures, that is about the Paleolithic age, we have no evidences. Nobody wrote or nobody kept as a record because they did not know how to read, how to live. Whatever they got, they just ate and then they lived in those places like animals only. They were also one of the animals group. So about those Paleolithic people, we had only few stories, but we have no evidences about them. Okay, we have no evidences about them. But fossil remains only were excavated and it was periodized. According to the periodization of the fossils, that only we have classified them into Homo habilis, Neanderthals, and Homo erectus. Neanderthal, have you heard about this word? Neanderthalensis. Okay, so let us see about them. And here, classification of culture based on the lithic tools. Lithic tools means the tools whichever they used out of stones, whatever was carved out of the stone. It was classified into earliest lithic assemblages, older one technology, lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, upper Paleolithic, Mesolithic. All kind of classifications they made from whatever the evidences they got. Okay, somehow they wanted to find out the history of the human being, when they evolved and how they lived, everything. So that is why these kind of different classifications were made based on the fossils and the materials whatever they got. Okay, so first of all, the earliest tools made by the human ancestors were found in Lomekwi in Kenya. Okay, some of the tools they got in Kenya, and they are dated to 3.3 million years. That means 3.3 million years ago. And here about the Oldowan tools occur in the Old White George in Africa. These Oldowan tools they got in Old White George in Africa. They are 2 to 2.6 million years old. And these human ancestors who are called as Australopithecines, they used hammer stones. That technology they used. Okay, so that time itself they had the technology. So hammer stones and produced sharp edged flakes. Sharp edged flakes means like beating, continuously beating, shaping that stone into a sharp one, having the sharp edge. So those tools were used for cutting, slicing, and processing food. Which food they were eating? They were eating the flesh only in order to cut it, tear it, and process it. For all that purposes, they used all those tools. You can see some of the tools here, whatever they got. Earliest lithic assemblages and older one tools. You can see earliest lithic assemblages, some kind of sharp tools. So these are the tools they used to break it, tear it. Okay. These were the tools they got it. It's not the pieces of the stone. These were the tools they made to hunt the animals and whatever the process of eating. For all those, they were used. And here, this is older one tools. You can see here, this part they will hold it in the hand, and this sharp edged part used to kill the animals and tear the flesh. So from here, you can see the technology changed. They started making the tools with the gripness and the sharp edges. So all that we have seen, yes. So all these points we have seen. So this is lower Paleolithic culture. Few minutes are left out. This alone I will just tell you. Human species, Homo habilis, Homo erectus. Okay, so you can see some drawings are given there. It's not an exact picture which was taken at that time. Drawings about the people, how they worked. Actually, those people assemble in one places and they take the stones or pieces of rock to cut and shape them into tools. Okay, that place was called what? Workshop for them. We used to say now workshop as a word, but it was the place where they used to, from the place where they live, they moved to that place where they have to work. So they make tools in those places. You can see, so like flaked large stone blocks and designed various tools including hand axes. Okay, so all the other things we will see it in the next class. This is all the raw material. Which is the raw material they use it to make the stone tool? Stone only. Big stones are big for pieces of rock. Where they have to assemble? They have to assemble in one particular place where the rocks are found. Okay, first they made the hammer tool, which was used to make the other tools, to flake it, okay, and to sharpen it. For all that, they first made the hammer tool. These tools were found in Asia, Africa, Europe, in India, Acheulean tools. We call it as Acheulean tools. It have been found near Chennai. So these kind of tools were found near Chennai and many other sites such as Izampur in Karnataka, Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. So in all these places also we can find these kind of tools. So from this we can understand that even they moved from Africa to India and they settled in India also. Okay, when this happened, it happened 1.8 million years ago. The other tools were bifaces. Okay, tools that have flaking on both sides, two sides tools. For the two purpose they can use it. That is why it is called as biphases. Fine children, I hope that you have understood till this. So hope you have understood. If you have any doubt you can ask. Thank you all children. We will meet in the next class.